people,
Uh-huh.
24 people towards maybe I think October or November of last year, and we've doubled in the last 6 months.
All right. So Frank is being dropped. We are actually live for the first 7 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Suman was talking about his fighters having fights and so on. But while we get Brett on, I mean Frank and Brett should be on soon. I got a special announcement to be made. Um, let's start with the drum rolls and cymbal scratch, please.
Awesome.
All right. Frank is calling me. Hold on. I'll get Frank. Oh man, this is gonna suck. Where's my contacts? Yeah. All right. Well, Frank is on. Special announcement. Okay, Frank, I'm going to do the special announcement that I promised all the fight scene fans on our top Singaporean fighter. Our top Singaporean fighter who fought in the last Rebel, Shafiq. Oh yeah, hold on. I have not shared screens with you guys yet. Right, so I think you guys should see this. Shafiq, the slasher. Samad. I believe you guys remember him.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shafiq is a cool guy, man.
Yep. He will fight Georgios Serganis from
Sorry,
Penang top
you were
team.
cutting out.
Alright, Shafiq the Slasher Samad will fight Georgios Serganis on Ultimate Beatdown 14.
Wow. Shafiq is back.
Yep, Shafiq is back. He said right after his last fight, right after that devastating knockout, he said he'll come back and he will be back by the end of March. Ultimate Beatdown will soon post the venue and the date as well. But this fight, the main event, Ultimate Beatdown 14, Shafiq the Slasher Samad from Juggernaut Fight Club versus Giorgio Serganis from Penang top team, will be the main event on Ultimate Beatdown 14. Frank, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. I'm here. I'm listening intently.
All right. So let's start off. There was Bellator this weekend and there was TUF China this weekend. I want to start with Bellator first. I was trying to get some gist on King Mo versus Zayat. I watched the whole fight. I was not entertained by it, and Rampage got a knockout. Frank, I believe you are very accustomed to how this guy rolls since the Pride days. Were you impressed with his performance against King Mo? I mean,
thought
against Mpumbu.
Yeah, I gotta say, I thought it was, man, there was a lot of feints, there's a lot of apprehension, there was a lot of tenseness, there was a lot of, I was wondering, man, is these boys going to throw something? It took a while for it to get going, but man, it worked for Rampage. I mean, obviously, he got the result. He just waited for his opportunity. And man, when he swarmed on him, it was over. I was actually surprised. I was really surprised, actually. I was. But great performance by Rampage. I mean, obviously it worked,
Suman, are we seeing the old Rampage back? Do you think we are seeing the old Rampage back?
You know what? I don't think we're ever gonna see the old Rampage back. But I think by Rampage's performance, he just showed that he's still relevant. You shouldn't count him out, because he does have that devastating knockout power to put anyone out. I think MMA has developed too far right now for Rampage Jackson. Like, that's why he's obviously not in the UFC. He can't compete with the big guys. Christian is a great fighter and everything, but he's not at that high level. But at the same time, you just can't count Rampage out.
Exactly.
But at the end of the fight, Rampage was so hyped up. He was thinking, he was talking to King Mo. King Mo tried to grab the mic. Rampage straight went in. If I'm not wrong, Bjorn Repney was actually shoved to the floor. I think it's a great hype up to the fight. I would like to watch them bang. and Bellator is saying that it might even go on pay-per-view. Frank, are you excited for that kind of fight, King Mo and Rampage?
Oh, of course, of course. I mean, look, anything can happen, especially at that weight. I mean, you know, those boys know how to throw down, and King Mo. I mean, if he can, you know, reach the heights of his peak, you know, look, I had huge expectations for King Mo a little while ago. I don't know. Sometimes he delivers, sometimes he doesn't. I'm not too sure who's going to show up during that matchup. But geez, I hope he shows up. And if he does, with Rampage, and Rampage is coming off a pretty good, you know, pretty fast knockout, he's going to be pretty hyped. Anything can happen, but you know, I'm just hoping for a great, you know, scrap with some you know, heavyweights. So I'm looking forward to it.
How about you, Suman?
You know what? You never know which King Mo is gonna get into the cage. That's the best thing. When King Mo is on, man, he's good. He's got so much power. He's got great wrestling, and he's good to watch when he's on. When he's not on, he's getting knocked around the ring and getting spinning back fisted to the face. So when he's not, when he's getting too cocky and ahead of himself. So it depends which King Mo shows up, and it depends on if Rampage wants to actually fight. I don't like them turning the whole MMA thing into the WWE or WWF, whatever it is. You know, that's not cool. You know, just fight. Let's see what happens. Chuck two men in a cage and see who walks out first.
Well, Strikeforce had something similar with Diaz and Mayhem Miller, remember?
That was legit. I like that. That was fun to watch. You know, the Miller's a crazy bastard, and you don't mess with the Diaz brothers either. Diaz brothers are gonna sock you in the face if you try and mess with their boy. So that was cool to watch. I think that the whole Rampage and Mo thing was a bit staged. So, and the same way that the Tito and Rampage feud was staged and they got into each other's face, it was really corny. You know, you could tell the whole Jason Miller Strikeforce thing, that was legit. That was real. You know, I don't know how to feel about Bellator. You know, I think Bellator are looking for a fake hype.
Alright, man. Okay, enough with Bellator. Another event actually went on right after it was TUF China. Let's talk about Jumabik and Mark Ediva. Mark Ediva is from Team Leke, so some of those tuning in from this Southeast Asian region would be quite familiar with Mark Ediva. And if I'm not wrong, Jumabik was coming in with a 14-0 record. Frank, you watched the fight?
No, mate, no. My first fight I saw was Menjivar Hioki. I just want to say, Suman, can I ask you a question? Mate, what is it with Australia? Every time I watch a free-to-air fight on Fuel, I miss like a couple of fights. Is that happening, or where are you seeing these fights?
Yeah, I'm watching it on Fuel TV in Sydney, obviously. I think that they only play a few of the prelims. They don't play every prelim for us. They have the Facebook prelims, and then they have 3 or 4 or like 2 or 3 of the other prelims up for our viewing, and then they have the main card. I've been missing out on a few fights. I actually missed out on that fight as well. I saw the highlights of it after. It seemed like a bit of a lackluster fight. I think that Ediva just outworked him, you know. He just seemed like he wanted it more.
Alright, man, since you guys didn't watch that fight, I will move on all the way to...
Wait. I just wanted to say one thing about that fight, though. Because pre-fight to that, we saw a lot of... see, I can't even pronounce his name. Please, someone tell me how to pronounce his name.
Who, Jumabik?
Jumabik, yeah, okay, that's the one. I can't pronounce his name properly. He had so much hype around him, and then there was an article saying he was 14-0, and then 17-0, and then he came out and said he was actually 30-0.
Yep.
You know, so he had all this hype around him, and I was wondering, because I watched one of his fights because I really wanted to see, and he's training at Phuket Top Team right now, and well, he was training at Phuket Top Team. He wasn't there before, but he came to do his camp there, and they're a great team, man. I know that they know how to push fighters to the limit, and they've got real good sparring partners, especially around that weight. So that wouldn't have been my problem. My problem would have been Juma be one of those guys that had his record built up to that. Like I don't really know. Like, what's really the go there? Did he have the octagon nerves, or I'd really like to know what really happened there. I haven't seen any interviews from him after the fight to see if he was injured or something. But it just seemed like he didn't really want to be there.
I don't know. What I heard was that he actually broke his foot or ankle in the first round. So
Oh,
yeah, and he lasted 3 rounds. So that's a warrior for you, man.
yeah. Hopefully we get to see him back in the octagon, and we get to see a great performance from him, and hopefully the hype is real.
All right,
Yep.
man. Let's go straight all the way to the main card. Frank, Hatsu Hioki, Ivan Menjivar.
Well, look, for me, Hioki obviously controlled most of the fight for rounds 1 and 2. He got some great takedowns on Menjivar. I just want to say, did Menjivar look like, you know what it looked like when I was watching that fight? It looked like a video game. Menjivar looked tiny compared to Hioki. Did anyone else notice that? Or was it just me?
He have always been tiny, dude.
Yeah, Menjivar is I don't know. I think you got to remember Menjivar versus GSP.
Yeah, that
Long
was like
time ago.
GSP debut MMA fight.
Yeah, that's his debut. He versus GSP. So I think he's used to fighting a bit above his weight. I don't know. I think he can maybe drop a bit lower, but he did look a bit small in that fight.
Well, anyway, back to the fight. I thought Menjivar just could not close the gap as effectively as he would have liked. I mean, he did it on some occasions. He looked good, but it just wasn't enough. I think, I mean, up until in round 3, then obviously he had the best round of the fight, in my opinion, but it wasn't enough. In the end, it was a unanimous decision against him. But, you know, it had some really good moments in there. Menjivar did look great. Like I said, he certainly won round 3, and he even cut Hioki. Mate, how bad did Hioki look on that right side of his face? Man.
Yep.
Wow, it's like an axe wound. It looked awesome. I mean, it sounds bad, but it really it looked like a movie, man. He's like a zombie.
Yeah. I think rounds 1 and 2 were great rounds for obviously Hatsu.
Yeah.
You got to remember, he a year ago was considered a title contender. You know, he's kind of fallen off the map lately, but you know he's versed some good guys and he's really relevant. He is a great grappler. You know, he's a legit black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You know, and he's good to watch in the cage. It was real tough for him to hang in there in that 3rd round, and a good comeback by Menjivar. I like watching Menjivar fight, but Hatsu, you know, came to fight that night. He was prepared and he earned that victory.
Yeah, true.
All right, next fight, mid-height. Like, is there anyone else who expected less than that? Right.
Are you talking about Matt Mitrione against Sean Jordan?
Yeah, apparently Matt Mitrione, when he bangs, he knocks out dude, and everyone knows this guy. Okay, the thing is, when I first watched Mitrione, he was on TUF. I hated him. I hated his character, the way he tried to skip training and so on. But he is growing on me after this, after the first few fights after TUF. Frank, this guy got some serious power, man.
Well, listen, what can I say? A good old-fashioned street slugfest. I mean, that kind of fight's mandatory on every card, don't you reckon, Suman?
Yep.
Yeah, I think there needs to be one of them everywhere. Like, just throw the skill out the window and chuck him in.
Just for the guys in the nosebleed sections just drinking. That's right. I mean, that's like a Tank Abbott, freaking Mark Hurt. No, not Mark Hurt. I don't know. Who am I thinking? Tank Abbott, freaking, I don't know. Anyway, you get the point. Yeah, it was one of those. It wasn't very technical, but, you know, man, their hands have got to be killing them, man. They were just punching so hard, dude. It was crazy.
All right.
The heartbreaking thing is, you know what? I'm not sure if I wanted to see a second round. Because I don't know how that gas would have gone after that, you know? But it was stopped a second before the round ended, you know? So it's a bit heartbreaking. Could you have seen more? But it was a great finish. Great job by Matt Mitrione.
Yeah, it was like a cartoon. You know, they just bash each other 1 for 1. It was just reminding me of old school, like, baseball bats sort of cartoon Tom and Jerry sort of thing. But no disrespect to the boys, but, I mean, it was just boxing, really, with 4 ounces, that's all.
Yeah.
Right, all right. Controversy of the night, which had another ball man in the US pissed Dana White, Wang Sai and Chang Li Peng. Anyone here thinks that Chang Li Peng actually won the fight? Frank, do you think Chang Li Peng won that fight?
Look, it's hard to say. They both had really great moments. They both had their back. They, you know, like Zhang. That's how I'm pronouncing his name. Zhang. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Wang Sai.
Yeah, no, the other dude with the red shorts.
Yeah, Chang Li Peng.
Zhang. I thought, look, he really was aggressive, man. He looked pretty yoked, man. He looked way bigger than Wang Sai, in my opinion.
Huge.
Yeah, what man? What weight was this? Welterweight.
Welterweight. Yep, welterweight.
Man, those boys were fit, man. Did you see Wang Sai? Did you see how hard he came out? Man, he was like, I liked him from the second I saw him. I got to admit, it's the first time I saw those boys. I didn't even realize. I mean, shame on me, but I didn't even realize there was an Ultimate Fighter in China. I mean, I really didn't. I didn't hear about it. You know, I don't know. Suman, were you well aware of the UFC, the Ultimate Fighter in China?
I was aware of it, and I read up on it on like blogs and things like that, just because I like to stay fresh on who's coming in and everything. The way I found out about Tough in China was I heard that some yoga instructor made it onto the show. You know,
Yeah.
that's the main thing that I heard about the show. It's a shame that we don't, even if it's not translated or whatever, like, it's a shame, like, we can't get it onto Fuel TV or something over here. We have to kind of go onto the internet and get it illegally. But yeah, I was aware, but I wasn't too into it. You know, obviously, all the names kind of looked the same to me, and like, I was a bit confused by the whole thing. And the format of the show was a bit funny as well. You know, I don't really know how the format worked either. But man, if I didn't know those two fighters before, I knew them after that. I thought it was a great fight. The thing that surprised me with that fight, it was so back and forth, but the wrestling is actually what impressed me more than anything. You know, usually you don't hear guys from China having that great of wrestling and that. But the guy, I can't pronounce it again. The guy in the red shorts, his name?
Zhang Yipeng.
Yeah, his wrestling really surprised me, man. He was getting some great double legs, and he was scoring the takedowns.
Yeah, definitely.
He was scoring the takedowns. He was getting reversed, getting his back caught, and then he would come back, get up, get the takedown again. I'm not a judge, and I'm happy I didn't have to judge that fight. It was cool to just sit back and watch the fight and enjoy it. It was great. I liked it, but like I said, I don't really have too much of an opinion on that fight. I just enjoyed it.
Yeah, I can I just jump in there? There's some moments that I want to talk about. The jiu-jitsu, I thought the jiu-jitsu was awesome. I thought Zhang's ability to take Wang Sai's back was beautiful after the wrestling. And look at that time when there was an illegal knee in the head, and then they restarted and they touched gloves barely, and then Wang Sai come out with an overhand right, and Zhang just timed the best double I've ever seen, I reckon. It was just perfect. I thought it was awesome. Don't forget also, I think a big factor for me that Zhang probably got the nod in my opinion was that he had Wang Sai in so much trouble. He had his back and he had that choke. Do you remember that choke, how deep it was? I thought Wang Sai was going to go to sleep.
Yeah, I want to talk about that choke, Frank. You know, when the normal standard jiu-jitsu choke is that when you do a rear naked choke, your stronger hand will be on his neck, then the other hand will slip in behind the head. But Chang was actually pulling his other hand. Could you finish a choke like that?
Of course, there's a choke. Look, there's hundreds of different style chokes, and that one's basically called palm to palm. You have one hand facing down, that's across the neck, across the windpipe, and you have your right hand palm up, and you lock it, and you get the leverage off that right shoulder, and you just squeeze your forearm to their back, and it pulls it in tight. Listen, I got to tell you, Wang Sai, it's got my respect, man. Listen, I've been in that situation a bunch of times. Suman, you probably have too. That's a nasty, nasty choke, and he just rode it out, man. I'm telling you, he'll be eating ice cream for a month, I reckon.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually like the palm to palm. You know, you see it a lot more with wrestlers, that they use the palm to palm, and you see a lot of the 10th Planet guys doing a lot of palm to palm stuff, you know, getting gable grips and things like that with their hands. I think it's just as effective as the old school traditional jiu-jitsu style of grabbing your bicep and grabbing the other hand behind the head. You know, if you really want to tighten it up and not have someone be able to pull your arm down, you kind of hide your hands behind their head and get your forearm right into their back and push your elbow into their back and sink it in tighter.
Yes.
So basically the pressure will be on the tracheal more, isn't it?
Yes, correct.
So it must fucking hurt, man.
Oh, it hurts bad. Suman, you know, right? I've had that happen so many times, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. Some people, like, when you get put in certain chokes, you know what? It's like a guillotine. You know, the same thing. Sometimes when people go so far out, it just gets real tight on the sides of your neck. But then some people really like to press their forearm right into your throat, you know, and make it real painful for you. Now, I think I've rolled with a lot of guys. I think that someone that Mohammed, you know quite well over the past like week or so.
Uh-huh.
One person who I think has the best guillotine that I've rolled is actually Andrew Leone.
Uh-huh.
Man, like when everyone's got a different style, whether it's a rear naked choke, a guillotine, or something like that. When I was rolling with Andrew Leone, man, this guy, when he got a hold of your neck, he was the most calm guy. You would think that for a second you're going to get out of it, and he'll slip it in such a way where it was minimal effort for him. It wouldn't hurt my throat, but I would feel like I'm going to sleep in like 3 seconds. You know, and he kept guillotining me, kept getting it on me. It was real cool, but everyone's got their own little different styles. Some people are real rough with the choke. Some people like to be real smooth to put you to sleep. Those rough chokes, they hurt you. They don't put you to sleep. It's different. Everyone's got their different styles, and yeah, we just saw a different style of a rear naked choke.
All right, just a shout out to Andrew Leone since you mentioned. I believe he is monitoring the show right now. And he called me probably the worst podcast show host ever in the world of MMA. So he's fighting in 1FC on 14. Andrew, if you're listening to this, come on to my show next week. I would love to have you on. So Frank, that was the guy. Anyways, on to the fight of the night. my favorite fight. Like, okay, the thing is, Suman was talking about Dong Hyun Kim for the past few weeks, saying he hates to watch Dong Hyun Kim due to his lay and pray style. Suman, there was no lay and pray.
I take back everything I said. You know what? If in some like Twilight Zone or something, if he is listening to this podcast right now, right, I would like to apologize to him. You know why? Because he gave me one of the most what the fuck moments. Watch, you know,
like who is this guy?
Guns blazing. He came out swinging for the fences. You know, and you know what? He looked like he was gonna knock out Hathaway in the first 40 seconds when he had Hathaway doing the running man away from him.
Yep.
You know, he hit him and he hurt him. In that third round, when he landed, I remember clearly. I was sitting at my girlfriend's house, and it was like 2:30 in the morning, and it was me, my girlfriend, and her brother, and we were watching because they both train at my gym as well, and her brother's an MMA fighter, and we were watching, and I remember as soon as it happened, I had the remote in my hand. I paused it, and I like grabbed, you know, my girlfriend's brother, and I looked at him, and I was like, "What the hell was that?" And I just kept rewinding and kept playing it, and I kept hearing it. You know what? 100%. That's knockout of the year. That's one of those knockouts that, you know what? You seem to see it a lot in other shows for some reason. You seem to see it on smaller shows. It doesn't happen as often in the UFC because everyone's at such a good level that you can't put people away like that. But man, that was amazing for me. That spinning back elbow is going to be a highlight of mine. I was trying to ask my kickboxing instructor, my Muay Thai instructor today, show me a spinning back elbow, and he told me not to get ahead of myself. told me to calm down and learn how to punch before I throw an elbow. But that was amazing, you know. That was a great highlight for me. Awesome fight. Well done by Hathaway for sticking in there. You know, it seemed like Hathaway was starting to find his rhythm a bit in that third round. And just as you thought Hathaway was coming back, that spinning back elbow from hell came through. It was fucking amazing.
Frank, thoughts?
Mate, when I saw that elbow, I got to admit, I threw up a little bit in my mouth, I must admit.
Yeah.
It was a bit disturbing. I mean, listen, I've done a lot of, you know, kickboxing in the past and whatnot. I remember specifically we used to do a lot of ducking and weaving and slipping and whatnot. And sometimes some people used to have a little low elbow hanging on their left hooks, and it was just bad technique. And sometimes those elbows used to just clip you on the back of the head. Do you have any idea how much those elbows hurt your head? Suman, tell him, please.
They kill.
They do, don't they? They are
a little accidental elbow. It's bad enough.
It's like a 4x2 getting hit in the back of the head with one of those Arnis Kali sticks, and by some freaking crazy Filipino. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, I get you, bro.
Yeah, it was awesome, dude. Come on, Hathaway's tough, dude. Come on. Seriously, don't you remember that fight with Diego Sanchez? Come on, man. Diego Sanchez? Hathaway's the real deal, and, man, he looks strong. Suman, I've never seen Hathaway look so yoked, bro. Seriously.
Nah, man. He's always ripped, you know, and he looked good. You know, I was a bit worried. I said it. You know, Hathaway hadn't fought in a while.
Yep.
So that's and I think that showed in the first minute. And I think Kim used that to his advantage. He knew that he hadn't fought in a while, so he knew that first minute he was going to be rusty. He didn't want him to find his rhythm, so we came after him from the first second, you know, and it was good, you know. And that's why we saw Hathaway getting a bit better as the fight went on and on and on. You know, but then he put him out. The disturbing thing for that was I kept rewinding it and I kept watching it. I think I honestly watched it about 15 times before I pressed play again and I let it go on. Now, when I let it go on, I was watching and I saw the celebrations. I saw Kim jump out of the cage, run over to his girlfriend, hug her, come back, talking to someone else. And then you see the camera move and you see that Hathaway is still out cold.
Yep.
And I think it was a good minute that his legs hadn't moved, you know, and that's when you start to get worried, you know. Like I said, it was an amazing thing to watch, but you never want to see a fighter that badly hurt. It was good to see Hathaway get up after that, and he even had like a cheeky little smile on his face, and because he knew that he got knocked out. It was great. It was kind of scary, but yeah, it just shows the toughness of Hathaway. I think Hathaway's going to come back. He's going to come back strong. He's a good fighter, you know. I like watching him fight. I liked watching him fight in the past. He'll be back.
No, I just want to say there was this random moment in the second round or the third round at the end of the first round. I mean at the end of the first round or the second round, Dong Hyun Kim actually was sitting in his corner and he was having a conversation with his girl who is sitting outside the ring. I was like, what the fuck? The coaches let him do that?
I'm pretty sure he told her to shut up. I saw him put his finger over his lip, and he was like, I don't know how to speak Korean, but I'm pretty sure it's Korean. He told him to shut up. Bad advice. You know what? This will sound a bit wrong, me saying this, you know, and you know what? I'll probably cop a lot of shit for this. I always say it. I say, you know, it's trouble when you see a woman in a guy's corner. Yeah. Like, I'm not a big fan of it. I don't like a woman screaming in my face telling me what to do in the corner. I've never had it, and I would never want it. You know, I see some guys have their girlfriend in their corner giving them advice, and I'm thinking, what the hell's going on here? You know, and I'm shocked by it. Dong Hyun Kim now, he had his girlfriend about 20 meters away, and she was still telling him what to do. That is a man under the thumb. His girlfriend has him so hard controlled, and I know that with that bonus win that he's getting, he's going to buy her a fat ring or something. She has got him wrapped around his finger.
All right, just for the record, just for the record, please, I just want to say this. Everybody out there, listen, I have nothing to do with Suman Mokhtarian at all. Right? I am not condoning that kind of behavior at all. I think chicks rock. I think they're awesome. I want to see more chicks in corners. I want to see more fighters losing their shit at their girlfriend. Fuck yeah. Don't go to a commercial break. Just stick to the camera.
I don't have a problem with women. I don't have a problem with them. But I get a bit disturbed when I see a woman yelling at a guy trying to get him motivated. Like, I don't know.
I'll try to change your perspective on this. If Fiona Maxlow was in your corner shouting at you instruction, will you be disturbed by that?
Oh, hell no. Fiona Maxlow is a bitch. Yeah?
Got you, bro.
Yeah, you got me good. She beat my ass. She did beat my ass. She tapped me out.
Mate, I'd be rocking up with flowers and chocolates if Fiona Maxlow was in my corner, mate. Swear to God.
Nah, Fiona Maxlow is cool, you know? But I sometimes see, like, I don't know. I've seen guys that have their girlfriend in their corner, and they're not fighters. I know the guys and I know their girlfriends. The girls aren't fighters. They have them in their corner for God knows what reason, and then they just hold the bucket and do something, and then you hear the girl giving advice and telling them the complete wrong thing. You know, I think there's a level to it. You know, if that's like me saying, oh, if Ronda Rousey wanted to be in my corner, I'd tell her to piss off. That is not true. If Ronda Rousey asked to be in my corner, I would fire the rest of my staff. I would tell everyone to go away. Rousey's the shit.
Hey,
But
Usman.
at the same time, you'd wonder who these girls are that are in the corner.
Dude, I'm
Mate.
fucking tearing right now, bro.
Jesus Christ. Fucking hell. I can't even get a word in. Fucking hell, man. Listen, Mo, don't fucking ring me next week, all right? Jesus Christ. Fucking hell. Get stuffed, both of yous.
Oh my god, that's fucking crazy. Alright, back to serious stuff. Where does Dong Hyun Kim stand in the welterweight division now?
You asking me?
Yeah?
Oh, I don't know, man. Listen. Seriously, look, he came out. Look, the way he came out, I don't know. I think he got away with a lot. I think he was on a lot of adrenaline or something. He was out to prove a point. Like Suman, touched on these ideas before, and I agree totally. But I don't know, man. Look, the welterweight division is pretty stacked. It's pretty open now that GSP is pole dancing. He's doing at the moment. I don't know, but. It's open. It's open. I don't know. I mean, geez, where do you place a guy like that right now? I don't know. Maybe top 10. Maybe, in my opinion. Maybe.
I think no matter what, he's a top 10 guy. In my opinion, I think he's 10-2 in the UFC now. I think that's justice enough. And you know what? His only losses were to Condit and Maya. Now Maya, he got injured in that fight. I think that Condit is the only true loss he's had. Everyone else, he's kind of walked through them. He's done a great job. I think he's a top 10 fighter, and he belongs there. You know, he deserves to be there.
Rory McDonald, maybe?
I think it'll be a good fight. You know what would be good about that fight? If Dong Hyun Kim fights the way he did against Hathaway, against Rory McDonald, I'd like to see how Rory does running away.
I think Rory gonna get beat if Dong Hyun Kim keep dominating Rory like that.
Yeah, I think the same thing too. I think he can't hide behind that jab for too long.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
All right, guys. Final thoughts on the show. TUF China. Was it good? Was it the same type of UFC you guys watched in a long while? There was no submissions. Victory.
No.
Yep.
I don't know. I felt a little bit. Look, I thought the fights were good. There were some really great moments in all the fights. I got to admit, there were some great moments in all the fights. I mean, even the Matt Mitrione fight, there was great moments. I mean, that finish, who doesn't want to see that? But I don't know. I just felt like something was missing, and maybe it was the fact there weren't submissions. I mean, maybe that's what was missing. I don't know, but that just felt like something was missing for me.
How about you, Usman?
Yeah, same with me. I just think, I don't know. It's got a bit of a different feel. I don't know if it's the crowd or what it is. The only good thing that I really liked about this show in China compared to the Singapore card was that Bruce Buffer was back. Like I said, the UFC is not the UFC without Bruce Buffer.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I'm gonna state is that the Rebel FC wouldn't be Rebel FC without Frank Barker.
Hey, see, there you go. That's it. That's how you got to look at it, So, Frank, I was gonna ask you as well. Have you been in contact with anyone from Rebel to maybe come back for the second show, or?
No, I haven't been approached at all.
Mate.
Boo, where's Chad?
Yeah, mate. Chad, Chad's actually he wrote a Facebook status the other day saying he might make a few shirts with his face on it. You know what? I think the fighters of Rebel FC should wear those shirts out to the stage. I think it would be great. Support Chad.
That
But
would be
if the Chad
freaking
ain't support
hilarious,
Frank
dude.
Barker, what do you want us to do, mate? Frank is a part of Rebel.
Wait, are you telling me that they're organising another show and I haven't been contacted? Is that what you're telling me?
I don't know. I'm trying to see if they. I don't think they'd leave you out of that. I think you were the highlight of Rebel.
Oh, well, thank you very much, man. Jesus Christ, you guys are being very nice. Oh,
Did you enjoy your Rebel experience, Frank?
Sorry?
Did you enjoy the whole Rebel experience?
Are you kidding me? I can give you a detailed recount right now of everything that.
Yeah.
It was awesome. You kidding me? I was in my element, man. You kidding me? Come on, man. I loved it.
It was a great show. And you know what? It was cool. I got to speak to you before and after the fights and everything. It was cool. Everyone was real close. Everyone was real nice. I didn't actually see any. Some fight shows you go to, there's always someone real arrogant on the card. You know,
Yeah.
there's someone who just seems to think he's above everyone. And, you know, all the fighters were real cool, you know. I didn't come across any fighter who thought that they were king shit, you know what I mean? Whether it was Rob Lucida or Lion Takeshi or everyone was real nice. You know, Lion was a real nice guy. And, you know, all the Korean top team guys, you know, I was in the sauna with them, partied with them after the after party. They were all real nice guys, and it was a good experience, a good group of guys that were put together by Chad Sanderson, you know. Especially that guy from Australia, I forgot his name, Australian top team dude. Saman, I think his name. It was great.
Hey, listen, how's Amy Adams going?
Yeah, she's going real well, you know. She's still training up here. She's just working on her jits, working on her striking, and you know, her and her boyfriend are training here. Sam K training here every day. Yeah, she's going well.
Yeah, I heard Amy got engaged.
Yeah, she did get engaged. She's actually getting married. I think next like in the next month or two, she's getting married. Her and Sam K.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's a big Australian celebrity MMA wedding that's going on too. Two professional MMA fighters.
Will it be held on ATT in a cage?
Well, you know what? That's actually, it's funny that you say that because we were planning a bit of a Bucks party for Sam K, and as we were planning the Bucks party, there was a few rules, you know. So rule number one, we all have to wear our gi. Right? Yeah, we have to wear our gi top and our belts.
That's why I wasn't invited.
No 10 Planet guys on the wedding, guys.
You can wear a rashi. You can wear a rashi.
Oh, thanks, dude. I wear a rashi. I wear the Renato Larancha one that looks like a gi jacket.
Oh, wait. You know what? I've actually been wondering where I could buy one of them. You know? But no, and this was the actual other rule. Now, Sam K is fighting for the Nitro Light Heavyweight title this weekend at Nitro. Now, Nitro, this card that they've put together for Nitro 11 is one of the biggest cards I've seen in recent memory in Australia. You know, we have Corey Nelson, Jules the Jackal, Api Hamara, Sam K, a lot of good Gurkhan Turkilmaz. We've got a lot of good fighters, a lot of great talent on this show. Now, Sam K is fighting for the light heavyweight belt. And what I've said to Sam K is, you know how everyone has like the ring boy that walks out into the thing? When Amy and Sam get married, I told Sam that he better win this weekend because I'm going to walk down the aisle holding the Nitro belt.
Oh.
And I'm telling you, it's going to happen. You will see these photos. You will see me walking down the aisle in my gi top with my belt on and holding Sam's belt and standing behind them as Sam wears his gi top and his belt, and I'm going to stand behind them when they get married.
And Frank Barker will wear a rashi and become the priest.
Frank Barker is actually the priest. Frank Barker. We need like a high-ranking priest. So I think Frank, you're the man for it. You got the voice.
Hey, listen, no worries. I'll bring some special incense too. Okay.
All right, guys. I was speaking to Frank earlier before the show started, and I was thinking that why not next week we start half an hour earlier, and I give that half an hour for you guys to plug any Australian events that are going to come up. I believe, Frank, you got a seminar, and you have two guys going to fight in Brace.
Yeah, in Sydney on the 15th of March. Yes, I do. I've got two fighters in that, so that would be great.
Frank?
Yeah, I've got Josh Pekistang. He's fighting Jamie Malaki, I think. Yeah, that's his name, Jamie Malaki, for a spot in I think it's the lightweight division. And I've got Shane Phillips, who's fighting McCree's. I think it's McCree's.
Macaulay's?
Sorry?
Billy? He's fighting Billy?
Yes, he's fighting him in middleweight division.
I hate to say this, Frank. I don't know much about your two boys, right? I don't know too much, but I think that they've been put up against two tournament favorites in those two weight divisions.
Oh.
They have, Simon, but listen. Fortune favors the brave. Remember that.
That's exactly right. You know, I understand you 100%, and it is MMA. Anything can happen, you know.
Yep.
And let me tell you something.
Jamie Malaki is an awesome young MMA fighter. I was with him at Rochambeau a few weeks ago. Great young guy. I think he's about 19 years old. Gone to the World Pancration Games. He's a really well-developed fighter, you know. He is young. you know, and that may play in Josh's favor. But Jamie's a well-rounded guy, you know, so it's going to be a good showing. I think Josh is a bit older than him, isn't he?
Yeah, Josh is 29. He's been training with me since he was 11 years old. But listen, that doesn't say much. Josh is a very, listen, I don't want to say too much, but look.
Yeah, I know.
Fortune favors the brave. Look, we're really prepared. It's up to the boys. At the end of the day, you know what it's like, Suman. I can only do so much as a coach. The rest is up to them. They've done the work. They're fit as hell. They're in great shape. We've worked on all our filling our holes to present ourselves in the best light possible. Whether the boys get the W or not, we know it's stacked against us. But you know what, dude? I mean, sometimes we can shock people. 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, we're solid with us. We're right. We're plugged into the source. We have our own game. We have our own plans. Hopefully, you know, if it all goes to plan, we're going to see an exciting fight regardless of the outcome, and I think it's going to be highly entertaining. That's all I want to say right now about it.
Can I ask you one question, Frank? Though, have Shane Phillips or Josh ever fought in a cage before? Because I know Victoria don't have banned the cage, you know, and that's actually a very interesting thought. I was wondering if they've ever gone outside of Melbourne to maybe fight in the cage or something like that.
Yeah, we fought at Valor down in Tassie.
Right.
Shane Phillips fought down there, and it's a pretty small cage as well, so we're prepared for this. Look, we feel that we've prepared. We're going in and look, you know, we're looking at gaining as much experience out of this as possible. Yes, we know it's stacked against us. Yes, I know we're underdogs, but you know what, dude? 10 Planet Jiu-Jitsu, man. We're the underdog capital of the Jiu-Jitsu world. Listen, we're ready, and we're going to bring it, and I hope those boys are ready too, and don't underestimate us, because it could be a big mistake.
Hey, I'm a jiu-jitsu, you know me. Like I said, I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, and I think that 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu can shock a lot of people, you know. It's designed and based mainly, in my opinion, for MMA. You know,
yes,
with the grips and things like that. So I think it's gonna be it's gonna be difficult for these boys that are coming in against the 10th Planet guys. And like I said, Frank, your boys are my boys. So when they're here, you're gonna have Australian top team backing you.
Oh, that's beautiful, Suman. I really appreciate it. And, you know, we'll talk a little bit more about it maybe next week.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, guys. So we'll move next week, half an hour earlier, Australian segment for Frank and Suman. Great.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mo. Thanks a lot, Suman. It's great to talk to you again. Have a great night.
Great to talk to you too. Thank you.
All right, bye, Frank.
Bye-bye.
All right. I'm gonna get Usman Habib on. I'm so sorry that he have to wait for quite a while, but it doesn't matter. What happened is actually Peter Davis was supposed to fight West Jaya, but West Jaya was out for an injury. They got a replacement in Waka Umar from Team Storm Pakistan, and while we try to get Usman Habib on, I will play his recent video in Park MMA FA2. Usman Habib, are you on? Usman, are you there? Hello. Alright, it's okay, but the thing was, there was an article going on that Ian Westwhistle took the challenge from Waka Umar, who said he want to fight anyone in this region. Suman, you heard about the story?
Yeah, my brother is actually good friends with Ian. Ian's a good friend of Rob Lasitas as well. I did hear about the story. I've got Ian on Facebook, so I kind of read up all the statuses and things that are put up. It seemed like, an open call out was put out, and Ian replied to it, said that he'll accept the fight against their top prospect, and everything was looking like he accepted. It was going forward. The promoter was contacted and everything, and then at the last second they tried to change the opponent or something, and Usman Habib had kind of Ian had made it like Usman had changed the opponents and that he was trying to duck Ian. Ian is a dangerous fighter, you know. He's very, very dangerous, as you saw in his last Cage Warriors fight, and I wouldn't be surprised about people not wanting to fight Ian.
He's the leg lock king, bro.
He is. You know what? He really is. People cannot speak highly enough of Ian's leg locks. They're saying no matter who you are, whether you're a black belt or whatever it is, he will catch you. once, and you know what? He's a cool guy. You know, the guys were saying he's not the type of guy to pull horror someone's leg. He knows when he has it, and he's real technical, and you know his skills are legit with those leg locks and heel hooks. So you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if people don't want to fight Ian. I think if there was an open call out, and Ian did reply to it, then the fight should go ahead somehow. You know, you should have put an open call out there if you're not really prepared for the fight. But we don't really know the whole story. I know that Ian posted up
Hello?
a status.
Yep.
Hello?
Sorry, Suman, to cut you off.
Hello?
Usman, you on?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello?
Hello. Okay, it seems like I can hear him, but he can't hear
Hello?
me. Hello.
Hello?
Yes. Hello. Alright, guys, we're having a bit of technical difficulty. I would love to ask Usman Habib on the Ian Whistle situation. Usman, you there? Hello? Alright, I'll try to call him back one more time. If not, as per usual, we on the TFS, when the internet screws up, we're gonna have an article out. So let's try this one more time. Suman, you saw this? Are you watching the scenes right now in Pakistan? That's like freaking ECW right there.
Yeah, no, I
Hello?
haven't really been too much. Oh, wait.
Hey, Usman, you there? Hello? Oh man, I did a test call with him 15 minutes before the show. It went
Hello?
well. Hello? Usman, can you hear me? Alright, I have to put Usman off. I've tried twice. I'm gonna Facebook text him says that I'm gonna write an article on the West Whistle situation, and of course I'm gonna talk about his upcoming fight with Peter Davis. His fighter upcoming fight with Peter Davis. Um yeah, Suman, you were talking about
Yeah,
Pakistan, yep.
I was talking about and I was talking about Ian before that too. Ian really seems to be wanting this fight. You know, he wants to test himself against whoever they think is the top guy. He wants to take out whoever people are trying to call out. You know, so it'll be cool if they get to see this thing. I'd really like to hear Usman's opinion on what happened with the Ian Enti situation, because I really know that he wants that fight, and he spoke strongly about Usman Habib and what he thinks of him as a manager.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd really like to know his opinion on Ian.
All right, man. Let's move forward to international card. I thought 171 is gonna happen next week, but actually, Fight Night is gonna happen next week. Gustafsson, Manua. I'm so hyped about that fight. But before we go there, TRT, bro. TRT is the story, bro.
Yeah, that is the main topic everyone's talking about right now.
Yeah. So the thing is, I don't know what the hell TRT is, so I actually Wikipedia TRT, so I kind of know, but I believe you have more information about that. And can you explain to me, like I'm a 5-year-old, what is TRT?
I'm,
And
I'm
what
not
does it does?
I'm
What
not
does
an
it do?
expert or a doctor or anything.
Mm-hmm.
From my opinion, I don't really know too much about all the whole steroids. I don't even know if it's not considered a steroid. That's the main thing.
Yep.
That a lot of people are saying it's not considered an anabolic steroid or anything like that. And they say it is for an illness. You know, they say well, not an illness. It seems like a lot of fighters have been complaining about low testosterone. They're saying they have below average testosterone, which all males and females, everyone produce.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're saying that they're just using this testosterone replacement to get to an average level. You know, so I think the main thing that they're kind of doing is in the UFC and in Nevada, they're kind of talking about it how they're trying to ban it because they're saying too bad if your testosterone isn't, or your red blood cell count isn't as good as someone else's, your white blood cell count isn't as good as someone else's. You know, they're just kind of saying bad luck to it, and fighters are happy about it, some are sad about it, but it just seems like, I think the only fair thing to do is have everyone on an even playing ground, and that's the argument. Is everyone being at the same testosterone level fair, or just no one can touch anything fair? You know, it's an ongoing argument, and it's going to go on for ages. You know, even if it's banned right now, there's going to be a lot of people coming up and complaining and saying things, and I want to know what the whole deal with the whole Vitor Belfort fight was, because we all know that guys like Vitor, I think Forrest Griffin had requested it, Dan Henderson has taken TRT before as well, in the past, but you know, Vitor is the face of TRT right now, and people are saying the reason he's not fighting Weidman is because he couldn't use the TRT. Now, other people are saying it's because he was on TRT, and if he fought Weidman, he would, you know, be already, his level's already too high for him to fight Weidman, and it would come back as a positive test. So they've kind of replaced him with Machida and waited around till the TRT's gone out of his system. I think it's a whole confusing situation. I don't like the whole steroid thing in the UFC. I think it should be even for everyone, and if that means no one touches it, then no one touches it. That's fair enough to me, you know.
All right. From what I have gained and from your opinions, and I've talked to a few fighters as well when I was at F3 in Malaysia. I've talked to some fighters who actually have a medical sports science background. They would, from what I get, is that TRT is like the MMA Viagra for fighters.
Yeah.
Basically, if you were to explain to a 5-year-old, it just says that if you are 35 and you take TRT, your body feels like you are 25. Am I right to say that?
Yeah, it rejuvenates, I think would be the word. Rejuvenates your body. It's kind of like the same thing a human growth hormone would do. It replaces a lot of the damaged tissues in your skull, but not really. It works off your blood, you know. It speeds everything in your system up when you take TRT, you know. So if you get injured, your injuries recover a lot faster, you know. It's kind of like you just said, you know, if you feel like you're 35, you feel like you're 20 again, because it takes your body back to that time, you know. It rejuvenates it as quicker. We know that in old age, you do not recover as quick, so it's kind of like a boost. But yeah, like I said, everyone should be on the same kind of playing field.
Yeah, and when you were talking about playing field, so I was imagining a 35-year-old guy who, let's say, had 10 years fighting experience with a 20-year-old body fighting a 25-year-old guy with only 5 years of experience. I think that's not a level playing field, isn't it?
It's not, because he's getting that boost, like that extra boost.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's kind of like age and things like that shouldn't matter when you're fighting at a professional level. You know, like I said, there's so many ongoing arguments. Like I said, I'm not a real professional on the topic. My way of seeing it is, if someone else is taking TRT, I really could not care. Yeah, that's, you know what it's like. It's like when I was 13 or 14 years old, and I remember, you know what? I remember I was 14 years old, and I'd gotten into a fight with some like 25-year-old dude, and I got into a big fight, and I remember I spoke to my brother about it, and I said, "Oh, but he's 25 years old. You know, it's not fair." And my brother said to me, "If you want to act like an adult, and if you want to fight an adult, you can't complain about age." So the way I look at it is, if I'm a pro-level fighter, I don't care what the other person's doing or how old they are. It's not fair. We all should go under it. In my opinion, though, I couldn't care. If that's what they need to try and beat me, they can try and do it, you know. Fighters, I know fighters are very confident guys. They're confident of their own skills, and it makes the victory a lot more sweet when they try and do those types of things and they still lose. I don't think that, I've never taken anything like that, so I don't really know what it does to my own body. But I think technique always overpowers everything else.
All right, man. Another news I got is that straight away, few hours after, Brazilian Commission also bans TRT, and Dan Anderson is actually on TRT, and he will be the last guy in Brazil to be on TRT because he got the exemption.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't know.
But okay, let's move on to happier news. Machida Whiteman, are you excited for that fight?
Man, I am excited for that fight. Machida, like I said, some people would call him boring. Some people who got their own opinion of him. I think he's masterful. He went in there and he outclassed Masasi, and he deserves a shot. So he does deserve a shot at the title. I know that it was between him or Jacare, and obviously he got the nod. You can't be displeased with it. Like I said, I don't know. It seems like everyone's doubting Weidman, and it's not cool. I feel bad for the guy, but I think Machida is hitting like a good run in his career, and I think it's a lot easier for Machida to. How many weeks' notice is it?
I'm not too sure. Hold on, I'll try to get it done.
Well, I think it is a lot easier for Machida to beat Weidman on the notice than it is for Weidman to figure out the puzzle of Lyoto Machida. I think whether it's 3 or 4, if it's anything under a month, man, I think the underdog in this fight, as bad as it is to say, would be the champion, because, man, people are trying for so long to solve that riddle of Lyoto Machida, and we've had Shogun do it. We had John Jones beat him. We've had him had a loss to Rampage Jackson, but then in his last 2 fights, he's just, like I said, masterful. You can't really put a finger on him. So I think it's going to be hard for Weidman to figure out Machida, and I think Machida gets the win there. I'm really excited to see how it works out, because I would love to see Belfort versus Machida. That would be a great fight, and I'd love to see Belfort versus Jacare.
Yeah, but Belfort will be back.
Yeah, they're
Not a
saying
problem.
Belfort will get the shot against the winner of the Machida and Weidman
Weidman.
fight. But I think I'd love to see Belfort have another fight.
Before fighting
Yeah.
one of these two guys, isn't it?
Yeah, because I see the way that it's gonna work. I think Machida will win. They'll put the title on hold for a bit. Vitor's gonna want to have a fight. Vitor versus Jacare for the #1 contender, and you see who has it. But if you don't notice, there's a lot of Brazilians in that middleweight division.
Yep.
Yeah.
Basically, there's a lot of Brazilian in the middleweight division. But moving on from Whiteman Machida and the Vitor Belfort situation, UFC Fight Night, Gustafsson Manua. I'm excited to watch Gustafsson back again right after that war with John Jones. Let us go back to Gustafsson, John Jones. Who do you think really won the fight if you were the judge?
Gustafsson.
I don't know. I feel John Jones won it by a bit.
Really?
At the end of the rounds, to tell the truth, Gustafsson was kind of dominating him early on, but John Jones showed championship heart in the last 2 rounds, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, my opinion's this on champions. On champions, you can't just simply beat a champion. If you leave it to a decision that's close, the champion will always win. You don't really see the champion get ripped off too much. If it's a close decision, we've seen GSP and Hendricks.
Now, GSP and Hendricks, I feel Hendricks clearly won that fight.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. I think you have to beat him like he stole something. You got to beat him a lot, or the champion a lot more convincingly, to take the belt off him. I think the Hendricks and GSP fight was a convincing win for me. But then you look back to the first time that Shogun versus Machida.
Ah.
They were saying that that was a complete rip-off and it was a robbery of the year and things like that. Now, that was still a close fight. You know, I thought that Shogun won it, but then you know they're saying that you can't just simply beat the champion. You have to beat him down and steal the championship away from him and all this stuff. And what happened? Shogun got a rematch with Machida, and he came back and he
Destroyed.
destroyed him. And that's what you kind of need to do. You know, you can't let it become a close decision because they are the champion for a reason. John Jones is used to just dominating everyone, and in the eyes of a judge, they're used to picking John Jones as a winner. So you can't let it be a close call because they're used to winning, so they're going to give him the tick. You have to be dominant. You have to show them like a clear win. You know, you can't let it be too close. That's why it'll be good to see what happens with two guys that neither of them are champions, Johnny Hendricks and Robbie Lawler. Neither of them are champions. We'll see how the judges go on that if it goes to a judge's decision.
I
But
don't think they're gonna go to a judge's
yeah, I don't think they're
decision.
going to go to a judge. But I don't think they're going to go to a judge's decision either. But that's the thing. I feel like Gustafsson won the fight. It was just a great fight. It was a war.
Yep.
It was a great thing. It was a great thing to watch. And like I said, I'm very appreciative of good fights that are put on. So yeah, like it was great to watch. If John Jones is still the champion, then I'm not the type of person to write up a Facebook status and complain about it too much. If he's the champion, he's the champion. He did a great job that night. It was an amazing fight, and he deserves to hold the belt. Even though I think that Gustafsson won the fight, you know, like I said, he should have knocked him out. You should never let it go to the judges.
All right, but Jimmy Manuwa, where does he stand with Alexander Gustafsson?
I think they're chucking him in the deep end a bit too quick.
Yeah.
You know, man, Gustafsson's a destroyer. Now, Jimmy Manuwa, he is a destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't look. He's very powerful. He hits hard. But he had his last fight against the bald dude. What was his name
Ryan
again?
Jimmo.
Ryan Jimmo. He didn't look that great.
Yep.
No, he didn't. He wasn't. He wasn't doing enough for me to say, you know what, give that guy a title shot. What happens if he beats Gustafsson, who I think Gustafsson should be like one win away from another title shot? You know, so I think this is a terrible fight for both of them. Well, it's actually a better fight for Manuwa because if Manuwa wins, his stock skyrockets after this fight. But if Gustafsson beats Manuwa, does his stock go up? You know, does he have to verse a top 5, top 10, another top 10 guy to get another title shot? I think he should be versing someone in the top 5.
Yeah, he should straight away go up and fight whoever wins the John Jones Teixeira fight.
Yeah, but what happened? It's not really a win-win situation for Gustafsson.
Yeah, worst comes to worst.
Because they're not giving him an easy fight to just stay relevant. Manuwa is a tough guy and he can win, but at the same time you got to look at who benefits from it more. And I think Manuwa could benefit from this fight more than Gustafsson can. I think Gustafsson, after probably the fight of his career, has gone. The UFC have kind of sent him backwards. Not cool.
Yeah, worst to worst, I feel if he like Gustafsson's like going to win this fight, then worst comes to worst, I think maybe they just chuck him with Daniel Cormier if he doesn't get title fight, or maybe Rashad when he comes back from injury. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like a few of the divisions are a bit muddled up. You know, Gustafsson. You know, like 2 fights ago, James Tahuna was relevant.
Yeah.
You know, he
Right after Shogun.
yeah, and then he oh man, like since that Shogun loss, you know, he's dropping down to middleweight now, and things like that. But before that, you know, he lost to Glover, and it was kind of the same thing. What happens if James Tahuna beats Glover? What happens if Glover loses to James Tahuna? Like, whose stock rises, whose stock falls? You know, luckily, not luckily, but in those fights, it seems like the person who who they thought would win won. You know, I think it would have been better for someone like Manoa to versus someone like Ryan Bader.
Yep.
You know, I think that's a much better fight. Test him against another a great wrestler, you know, at a top level. And Bader had a dominant win against Anthony Perosh. As terrible as I think Anthony Perosh is, you know, as bad as I think he is, you know, he had a very dominant win against him. And I think that fight would have made more sense than putting Gustafsson in that situation. I think the problem was they couldn't find anyone that wanted to fight Gustafsson.
Yeah, I don't know. That's still Phil Davies, isn't it?
You know, yeah. Phil Davis, yeah, you know, Phil Davis, in my opinion, won't ever be a champ. He's a great guy. Like I said, he's boring as shit. You know, like, honestly, I would rather watch the paint on my wall dry before watching Phil Davis. And you know what? I hope that motivates Phil Davis into doing something, because look what I said about Dong Hyun Kim. He came out and had the performance of his lifestyle. I'm going to start bad. You know what? I would sound on this show like the biggest arrogant piece of shit talking down on all these UFC guys. But one thing they've all got to realize, I'm not speaking as another fighter when I speak about these guys. I'm speaking as a fan. I'm a fan before I'm a fighter. And as a fan of the sport, you know, I'm going to give my most honest opinion on it. If I don't like a fighter, I'll say it. If I don't like, some people excite me and some people don't. Now, people like Phil Davis do not excite me. You know, watching him fight Vinny was probably one of the most boring things I've ever fucking seen in my life. You know, and it seems to happen over and over again. He got one anaconda choke against Gustafsson. Good on him. He got a real cool Kimura lock.
Yeah, the one-handed Kimura, isn't it?
Tim Boach, you know. Great.
Yeah,
good on.
That fight actually got me into Phil Davis, and I thought, wow, that's pretty skillful. I'd never seen a one-handed Kimura before.
You've never seen it before, but then what have you seen since then? Nothing. A lot of decisions.
A controversial decision win over Machida.
Yeah, exactly. Controversial win over that, and he lost to Rashad Evans when Rashad Evans was terrible. Rashad Evans was in a rut. You know, and he just couldn't look good. And then I think he beat Nogueira or something.
Yes,
and everyone knows, as good as Nogueira is on the ground, find a dominant wrestler and you're not going to really do much against him. You know, Nogueira's a cool guy. He's a bit old. You know, Nogueira's a gone. But, yeah, like, that's what I mean. Like, I think the light heavyweight division used to be my most, like, exciting division. You know, I used to love watching that division. It's kind of all over the shop now. You got guys injured, you got guys dropping, you got guys going kind of all over the place. You know, I'm really at the moment into the 135, 45, 55 division watching them. I think the old perspective of watching big guys knock each other out is kind of going. People are starting to see MMA for the sport that it is. And we're starting to enjoy the smaller guys who are putting on a better show at the moment. You know, you're watching guys like Pettis, Barral, you know, Faber even. You know, even though Faber had a loss, you know, I love watching Uriah Faber. Uriah Faber is one of my heroes. You know, like I love watching him fight. I really like watching the small guys fight. Even the 125ers. You know, you see someone like Mighty Mouse. See, yeah. Mighty Mouse. Not many people. The common MMA fan won't enjoy him because they say he doesn't have knockout power. Man, he just put out Joseph Benavidez. And Benavidez is the man. You know, I think he's cool as shit, you know, but he just put him out. And I think little guys are becoming just as relevant as big guys. If you come to Australia, people, you'll see this in promoters. Promoters pay more for big boys. They pay more for the heavier guys. Why? Because they want them to knock each other out. That's what the crowd wants to see. Now, I think real MMA fans, people who respect it just as much, will love anyone, whether it's a 125er, a 170 fighter, or a 205 or 265 fighter. They'll respect it all. I think it's kind of. I think MMA is changing. Yep. You know. I think that we're seeing less brutal knockouts because everyone's getting better. You know what I mean? Everyone's developing as a fighter, and we're seeing the change of it. I think that like I said, 3 years ago, everyone's talking about the light heavyweight division. Then everyone was talking about the middleweight division. Now everyone's talking about the 145ers, 155ers, 135ers. And it's cool. It's cool to see the change in MMA. And people are talking about women just as much as they're talking about men. Man, like everyone just keeps talking to me about Rousey and McCann and what happened and what's next for Rousey and Rousey versus Cyborg and all this stuff. Man, it's cool to see the change in MMA.
Yeah, I think they're gonna sign Cyborg pretty soon. Joe Rogan says there will be a huge announcement on Ronda Rousey next fight, which will be in August or something.
And
So
I don't know.
if that's a huge announcement, like I don't think Zingano is a huge announcement. Holly Holmes will be fighting in Invicta in May, so I don't think she will be ready to fight Rousey. So Cyborg will be the only girl I feel, unless possibly Gina Carano comes back. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I'm very, very, very happy to see that they're adding the women's 115 division. They're having tough, I think 20.
Yep.
And I think that's the one that Pettis and Melendez are coaching.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it'll be cool to see the women in there. In the new division. And like I said, that's a new thing. I think they're going to be adding a 115 division for guys. You know, I don't know many guys that are light. You know, I think the problem is how deep is that division around the world. I think in more Asian countries, maybe Singapore or in China and things like that, 115, is that a common division?
In Singapore, the problem is not in Singapore. Shuto URCC, they have 115. Mexico is where the super flyweights are, the strawweights.
Oh, okay, yep. Okay. I was actually going to ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
Do you know much about the rules of Singapore MMA? If say 1FC, right? They have soccer kicks allowed in 1FC now, right?
Yep.
So does that come down to what country they're in, or does that come to an independent, like an independent commission, or
All right. The thing is, in Asia, there is no independent commission. So apparently in Asia, anything goes. So if you want Vitor to fight with TRT, you get him to fight in Asia.
Okay, so what if the UFC? I'm just speaking. This is probably the stupidest question anyone's heard. What if the UFC wanted to bring their fighters to China or to Singapore? Would they be allowed to have soccer kicks if they wanted to?
Yep, if they wanted to, they would. They would be allowed. Yes, in Asia, soccer kicks are pretty much allowed.
Okay, so and it comes down to really the organization. So 1FC or another company.
Precisely, it's the companies.
Okay, now for amateurs, right? In Asian countries, do amateurs all have to wear like shin guards, or is it down to the promoter again?
That one is down to the promoter. Some 3 minutes, 7-ounce gloves without shin guards, no knees and elbows to the head. Some with shin guards, no knees and elbows to the head.
Imagine this is again a very stupid thing.
Yep.
You know, because I don't know how some people feel about the soccer kicks, you know. So I know a lot of people don't like it. It is a very brutal thing, but from an outside perspective, you know, you kind of I liked watching the old Pride days. I always wish that like it would be more like that. I remember watching videos of Shogun soccer kicking the crap out of people's heads.
Wanderlei Silva.
Imagine, Wanderlei Silva. Imagine one day the UFC came and they allowed for one show only, you know, soccer in Singapore, like or something like that. That would be crazy.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't think they will be allowed to broadcast that in the US. So
no, they really wouldn't. But imagine as well if Rebel FC allowed soccer kicks.
I gotta speak to Justin about that.
Yeah, that could be something to catch people's eye or something different, you know.
Dude, not only soccer kicks, because the thing is, 1FC allows soccer kicks, they don't allow foot stomps to the head. Pride had foot stomps to the head.
Yeah, see, I thought that was cool because people could like jump over someone's guard and just stomp down on their head.
Sakuraba, dude.
Yeah, man, it's cool. See, I just wanted to kind of know about like the because obviously the Nevada State Athletic Commission, they kind of run everything with the
Yeah.
UFC all over, and it is for the fighter safety, and it is. I don't think it's safe at all to soccer kick someone to the head. To get a shin across your skull is something extremely dangerous, and I think that it could kill someone, you
Mhm.
know. But but I think outside the sport, if I'm watching, it's not something I wouldn't mind watching as bad as it is. I'm not a brutal guy. I don't want people to get hurt. But at the same time, I like the old Pride days. I like that. I just wanted to know how the rules would be in somewhere like Singapore or something, or compared to America, Brazil, Mexico, or how the rules work. Because I know that there is no way any commission in Australia would allow such a thing. Like, no matter what happened. And I'm sure America wouldn't either,
No,
So,
Australia was having problems with the ring and the cage. Like, what's the problem over there? I asked you this question in Australia. What's the problem with having a ring and having a cage?
well, the problem with that is what they're saying, what the Victorian Commission is saying, the government is saying actually, is the image that it portrays, people fighting in a cage. They say it brings a bad image to fighting. Now, what I don't think they realize is the cage is there for our safety. Um, I don't know if that's why the cage was bought, but if you, I don't know if you watched the AFC
Yeah,
8,
Gustavo Falcaroli.
yeah, against Kai Kara France from Tiger Muay Thai.
Yeah, the
Now, when
guy
they
went through
fought,
the table.
yeah, I don't know how bad Kai hit his head, but man, like, you hit your head on the corner of a table, it's gonna hurt. And if that was a cage, that wouldn't happen. And the cage is there for our safety. It's so bad now in Melbourne, Victoria, that AFC have now taken their next show right across the border.
Wow.
So now Melbourne, the Melbourne fans, the Victorian fans are missing out. Not only that, the UFC want to go to Victoria.
But they
They
can't.
have they have estimated a loss of $50 million from the UFC uh, not going to Victoria. It is what's Victoria's loss is Sydney, Queensland, like everyone's gain.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we're trying to have the same rules all around Australia. I think Western Australia are trying to ban it now as well, and it's not cool. It is for our safety. We don't. I've seen it on more than one occasion. People getting thrown over ropes, even at local shows. I don't like my guys fighting in rings. If that's the only place where we can get fights, we'll get them. But I'd rather. I'm sure everyone would rather a safe cage. It is for our safety. We don't want anyone falling out of the ring, hitting their head, and dying. What happens if one day someone falls out of a ring, hits their head hard enough outside the ring, and dies? Who's to blame? Is it to blame MMA, or is it to blame the commission that won't allow us to have a cage? We don't want these injuries, so I think we need to make a bigger push to get a cage put in Victoria.
Yeah, you
It's
guys,
silly.
you guys form a union and protest on that and educate.
Well, we are actually. There is actually a lot of protests going on around it. You constantly hear about it. It's always a topic. You watch an AFC show, the commentators every 2 seconds are commentating, saying we need to get a cage in Victoria. Every fight, someone's about to fall over the ropes. You know what I mean? It's not safe.
Yeah, and unfortunately it happened. But
Exactly.
anyways,
We were the ones who missed out on a great fight. Kai Kara France and Gustavo, two great fighters. We would have loved to see a proper finish, and someone deserved to get their hand raised. And in the end, it was kind of no one won.
all right, man. Let's talk on to more positive news. On the 8th of March as well, on UFC Fight Night, there's Glory 14. Are you following Glory?
Yeah, I am.
So the main event will be Mirko Krokop versus Remy Bonjeski. I feel Remy Bonjeski is gonna kill Krokop. What do you think?
Yeah, uh, man. I'm not a fan of Remy.
Uh-huh.
Now, my biggest problem with him is the time when he fought Badahari
Uh-huh.
for the K1 in the K1 final. I think it was in 2008. and Buddy Harry illegally hit him when he was on the floor.
Ah, yeah.
We all know he could have continued, but he didn't, and he cried because that's not the way he wanted to win. You know, he lost me as a fan. Um, I think he does outclass. He does outclass Crow Cup. Crow Cup's a bit too old, a bit too slow to hang with a top level guy like Hemi. But at the same time, I think if Crow Cup kicks him hard enough in the nuts, you'll see Hemi jump out of the ring. You know, in my opinion, he's a bitch. That's to say it real nicely too. And again, I don't say this as a fighter because if he was like trying to fight me,
Uh-huh.
he would kick the shit out of me, no matter what our weight was.
Uh-huh.
Like I respect him; he's a great fighter, but at the same time, you know, I don't like to see like fighters take an easy way out of a fight. If someone, and he took the easiest way out of that fight with Badahari. All it takes is one performance for someone to lose my respect. You know, and that was it. You know, I don't care if you got hit to the nuts, hit to the head, or whatever. If you can go on, go on. And I think he could have gone on.
Yeah, but it's a good thing for kickboxing as well. While we were talking the other day about jiu-jitsu and Metamoris, and I feel jiu-jitsu is going to get a bit bigger right after Eddie Bravo Hoyler Gracie fight, depending on whatever happens in that fight. Glory have been steadily increasing in ratings in Spike TV.
Yeah, man.
And with Badahari on, okay, we understand Badahari is in jail. He'll be out August. He'll maybe gonna fight at the end of the year. He's probably one of the most famous kickboxers in Glory.
Yeah, he man, that guy's a legend. Like not a legend yet, you know, but he's he's like a bit of a Floyd Mayweather, just a lot more angry. You know, people either watch him because of how good he is, and then some people watch him because they want to see him lose. Because some people would say Badahari is arrogant, or he's this, he's that, and he may be arrogant, you know, but he's a great fighter, you know, people do tune in just to watch him. Um, I don't doubt what you're saying at all. He is probably one of the most famous guys in kickboxing, whether it's for his fighting or whether it's for his anger or post-fight, pre-fight antics. You know, people want to watch him fight. You know, I can't wait till he gets out of jail.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm looking forward to Glory 15 as well. Gokhan Saki versus Tyrone Spong, and Alistair Overeem is having bad days with the UFC. I could see him if like UFC cut him. I could see him in Glory back. Maybe have a rematch with Badahari, and that would be a pretty big fight.
Yeah, you know, trilogy
Yeah.
would be a great fight. I'll tell you, I'd watch that fight all day, every day. I'd pay to watch that fight again. But you know, even though I said I won't really, after the last three performances I've seen of Alice Overeem, I said to myself, I'll never pay to watch Alice Overeem fight again. If you fought Badahari, I'd come to watch that because, you know, I like how they both speak. You know, Badahari was so convinced and so sure that he was going to beat Alistair the first time, and Alistair just walked through him. He went back, he trained, he got bigger, and he whooped Alistair's ass. So what happens the third time? You know, it'll be a cool trilogy to watch.
Yeah, man. Okay, all right. I think we'll wrap up the show. Anything you want to plug? Anything you want to promote or anything you want to shout out to?
No, I just want to, give Australian Top Team a shout out again, and also I want to give Phuket Top Team a shout out. I know that my brother's over there now training, and they've got a lot of top level UFC guys. They got Anthony Leone there. They've got Rob Lacita there right now. They've got Ian Ante there right now. A lot of guys that we talk about on this show that are in the Asian MMA scene are at Phuket Top Team. Phuket Top Team is no doubt in my mind the best MMA gym in Asia, possibly one of the best MMA gyms in the world. They got some awesome coaches, and they got even better fighters there. You know, they've got real good fighters, real good coaches over there, and they're doing real well. I know that they were at the Tough China with a few of the guys. You know, I know Boyd Clark who's the head of Phuket Top Team. He was over there as well. He's doing an awesome job. You got to remember, Phuket Top Team hasn't been around for that long. Phuket Top Team, I think, has been around for 3.5, 4 years maybe. You know, and they've made a big impact in Asian MMA. You know, they've got some top guys, and you're gonna keep seeing them at a top level. Yeah, so I just wanted to give a shout out to all the Phuket Top Team boys that are training hard. James Jumanji in the gym is there. My brother Ashkan Mokhtarian is there. You got Rob Lasita, you got Ian Enty. You know, you got some real good guys around the lighter weight divisions. You got Moise Rimbon, who fought Alistair over him, who's fought Nogueira. He's over at Phuket Top Team. They got Daniel Tabera, who's a Bellator fighter. They've got a lot of big names, you know. And I think anyone who wants to really take their MMA serious in the Thailand area, you know, Phuket Top Team is definitely the gym to be at. If you're in Australia, Australian Top Team is the team to be at, you know. You know, we got a lot of great fighters. Again, we had Trent Nino Loco Godham fighting on the weekend, young 16-year-old fighting a 26-year-old, a 25 or 26-year-old. He had 9 years difference on him, and the guy had a lot more experience. Came out and spinning back kicked him to the face and whooped his ass. It was a great fight. You know, you see our young guys doing real well. Got a great group of guys. You know, we've had Rob Lasita coming and training here when he's in Australia. You know, I just want to give a big shout out to Australian Top Team, obviously my gym, and to Phuket Top Team, which is our affiliate gym. You know, I think in the next year or two, you're going to see big things from us. Because of our affiliation, ATT and PTT are together, and you know, synergy. No one's gonna stop us. We're going straight to the top.
All right, since you were talking about that, I'm gonna release one top secret rumor. We're gonna have in Ultimate Beatdown this end of March, date yet unconfirmed. We're gonna have a fight between a fighter from Phuket Top Team, and a fighter from Tiger Muay Thai.
Wow. Now, would you happen to know who these fighters are?
That's great. I know who these fighters are. The problem that I can't release is that they just verbally agreed. They haven't signed the contract yet. So once the fighters sign the contract, I'm gonna hype that shit up.
Now, I don't know. I don't know if Phuket Top Team and Tiger Muay Thai have had anyone fight each other yet.
So this could be the first time ever.
Yeah, I think it might be. You know, I can't think of any recent fights that they've had against each other. But I'll tell you this much. Both those camps would be so sure of their guy winning. I know for a fact PTT does not want to lose to Tiger. And I've trained a Tiger before, right? I know the Tiger do not want to lose to PTT. You know, I think this could, as much as people don't want to comment on it, and people are like, oh, nah, there's no grudge, there's no this, there's no that. Man, this is one fight that both camps don't want to lose.
Bragging rights, dude.
Yeah, this is bragging rights. I don't know if you know, but Phuket Top Team and Tiger Muay Thai are about maybe 700 meters away from each other. 800 meters away from each other. They're on the same road.
Yeah, talking about that, Ashraf, actually, the fighter that hopefully that you're gonna fight in the next Rebel FC, Ashraf actually went for a 1 week training session at Tiger Muay Thai, and he was telling me that there was nothing on. Like, the guys are actually jogging past each other, Phuket Top Team and Tiger Muay Thai. There was no like conflicts or anything. But Suman, your story.
It's not like that, really. Obviously, I'm at Phuket Top Team, you know, and you would go to the restaurants and you would see guys from PTT and Tiger sitting at the same table and they'd be eating, you know. I was friends with a few guys from Tiger, and some guys from Tiger were friends with guys from PTT. It's nothing like that. There was a few things that had gotten heated with a few people. I'm not really going to mention it. Some things did get a bit personal. Police did get involved.
Wow.
Yeah, but you know, I think it was all a bit premature. You know, I think more than anything, it comes down to business. Tiger has been around for a long time, and Tiger don't like the threat of the next big MMA gym. You know, Tiger have a great name. and they're real good. You know, they have great guys that come past there. You know, they've got Patrick Cote there now. They've got guys like GSP, obviously, who come past there to train with their trainers. And it is more like bragging rights. You know, we all kind of sit around the same table and we kind of laugh and look around at each other. Tiger guys think they're better than us. We think we're better than Tiger guys. And, you know, like, oh, our jiu-jitsu trainer is better. Our Muay Thai trainers are better. You know, it's all like bragging rights. Before it was a bad thing, and there was a few fights and things like that. But I think now things have gotten civilized, and it's more down to a bragging right thing. No matter what, I think whoever loses or wins afterwards, there's gonna be repercussions.
Yep.
You know, like I think that some people won't take it well. I think if Tiger loses, they won't take it well. You know, I know when I trained at Tiger, the one thing I realized more than anything, and you know what, like people can say whatever they want about this. Like I said, I speak the truth. If people don't like it, they can go fuck themselves. Tiger, in my opinion, had so much more arrogance, you know, and that's not for everyone. You know, Tiger just seemed to think real highly of themselves. You know, they have some great coaches. You know, Roger Huerta is an amazing guy, real nice, and a great coach. Brian Ebersol, again, great guy, great coach. You know, but then there was a few other people who weren't those big names who thought they were king shit around the camp. You know, maybe they thought just because they do a bit of CrossFit that they're MMA fighters all of a sudden. You know, and they used to get a bit of arrogance from all those people. You know, and I got to pick a top team. And everyone's so friendly, so nice. You know, everyone's on the same page, and everyone knows each other. You go to somewhere like Tiger, like it's different people every day, and it's real commercial for me. Now, it might be great for someone else, but for me, training at PTT is a far different experience for me. You know, I would actually say that if Ashraf goes down to Phuket, Thailand again, tell him to go try out. I know. I'll tell him as well. Tell him to go try out PTT. See the difference for yourself. It's something you got to experience, and something not everyone will understand. But man, I love training at PTT. It's an amazing experience for me. All the guys are real nice, and I had a great time at Tiger too. It wasn't for me. I felt like even the second day I was there, you know, a few people got under my skin, and things nearly got a bit heated.
All right.
You know, and I'm not the type of person to shut my mouth when someone says something, you know. Even if I'm smaller or whatever it is, they're going to hear my opinion. If they don't like it, we'll probably be fighting in or out of the cage.
All right, I'll drop you a hint, and if once the contract have been signed, I'll bring the fighter on, and the fighter I'm gonna bring on is someone from Tiger Muay Thai. The hint I'm gonna drop you, but probably I'm gonna tell you later after the show is.
Yeah, you'll probably tell me.
But the hint I'm gonna tell you in case anyone is watching the show. This fighter called out a fighter that fought a fighter from Australian top team.
This fighter called out.
Okay, this fighter from Tiger Muay Thai on social media called out a fighter who fought your fighter.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
you take a while to guess. I'm going to tell you the answer.
I'm trying to think.
Okay.
You know why? Because I'll tell you something. When an Australian top 10 fighter has been called out, pretty sure we fought. That's what I'm trying to think. You know? Would this person happen to train at PTT as well?
No.
No, so they're an Australian top 10 fighter.
No. Okay, I'll tell you again. This fighter called out a fighter who already fought a fighter from your gym.
Oh,
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So who called out Chris Lockdeath?
No.
Nah?
No.
See?
Okay, we'll leave that secret out for
Alright.
for another time in the show. But I think we've gone too long. I'll let you guess for a while. Then after that, I'll come back to you on Facebook. How about that?
I'll message you straight after this.
All right.
Alright.
All right. See you guys next week. Half an hour earlier. Half an hour just for Australia. Monday Night Mayhem. Goodbye. Good night.
Awesome. Yeah.
All right.